In part A, we're asked to show that the cosine of x squared is greater than or equal to cosine of x for x between 0 and 1. Well, first,
Listen, we gotta get that water to Africa. 50% of the ticket sales are going to
observe that the function f of x, which is equal to the cosine of x, is decreasing on the interval 0 to pi over 2. This is easy to see graphically. Alternatively, you could prove this by taking the derivative f prime of x, which is equal to negative sine of x,
You might just be dead.
which of course, this is going to be less than 0 on the interval 0 to pi over 2. Well, the open interval is 0 to pi over 2.
He's creepy and poisonous. How do you know he doesn't have a nest where he's catching mosquitoes?
I think, that is the kind of foreign policy.
And therefore,
attitude
it also implies that cosine of x is decreasing on the interval inside this 0, 1.
One of the dumbest shows. One of the dumbest.
I never watched that
One
show.
of the stupidest.
I never really watched it. I saw like an episode. People say
We also know that x squared is less than
fell off
x
at the beginning.
on the interval 0, 1. I guess I should say the open interval technically.
How about you just watch the Iron Giant?
So this is different from when x is greater than 1, where x squared is always greater than x. Now if we apply this,
I thought it was a
well,
cartoon.
because f cosine of x was decreasing, it follows that the cosine of x squared is therefore going to be greater than the cosine of x, since x squared is less than x.
It's a voice.
They don't draw the voices.
Now this is only on the open interval 0, 1. In particular, we have that cosine of 0 squared is the same as the cosine of 0, and the cosine of 1 squared equals the cosine of 1. And therefore, cosine of x squared is greater than or equal to the cosine of x on the closed interval 0, 1. This is what we wanted to prove in part A. Then in part B, we're asked to deduce that the integral from 0 to pi over 6 of cosine of x squared is greater than or equal to 1/2.
Like grooves in a record.
So I guess he was right to ask if Harry Connick Jr. if they
Well,
drew a voice
we'll use the
that sounded
comparison theorem for integrals.
Look like Harry Connick Jr.
So,
he just plays the
of course, pi over
The guy that
6
played Simba looked like that too. He looked like a lion.
lies between 0 and 1, and therefore
I can't wait to be king.
it follows that
When I'm king,
the cosine of x squared is greater than or equal to the cosine of x on the closed interval 0 to pi over 6.
I don't think
Adults that were supposed to say
Yeah, it was supposed to be in the cell.
I don't think the genie should have used the end.
Yeah.
And so we have the integral from 0 to pi over 6 of the cosine of x squared dx is going to be greater than or equal to the integral from 0 to pi over 6 of just the cosine of x dx. Now the left-hand side, we don't know a simple antiderivative for cosine of x squared. We do know we can rewrite the right-hand side as the integral from 0 to 6. Well, we take the antiderivative. This is now sine of x evaluated from 0 to pi over 6, which is the sine of pi over 6, which is 1/2 minus the sine of 0, which is 0, which is simply 1/2. And therefore, simplifying, the integral from 0 to pi over 6 of the cosine of x squared dx must
Yeah.
be greater than or equal
And just
to
sit
1
in
half.
that truck.
So in this way, we obtain an estimate for an integral, which it is not easy to find directly.
I want to fuck a diary.